Right, we're live. Hello, hello, hello. A happy Friday to everybody. Thanks for joining us for this brief workshop in which we hope to deliver sort of 20 minutes of value, tips that will help you to collect more reviews and enhance your reputation. And we're going to be going through a lot of the best practice. And I think it's probably fair to say, I'll hand over to Dom in a second, but it's probably fair to say that doing all of these things is exactly sort of like a playlist on exactly how to enhance your reputation and leverage good reviews to the maximum, and can be a great source of new business. But it does take up a lot of time, and it can take a lot of effort. And Dom will show you ways that you can do it that take little or no effort if you're using the View Agents platform. But of course, you can do all of this stuff yourselves at home, for in some cases for free, but in some cases it takes a lot of effort and planning. But Dom, over to you.
Yep, thanks, Dave. Are my slides up and there?
Yeah, they are now.
Brilliant. All right. Well, hi everyone. So just a quick bit of background. So View Agents is a reputation management platform. We only deal with UK estate agents, so we're quite specialized in what we do. And we have around 4 million reviews on our platform at the moment. So we do have a very heavy focus on reviews. And you know, one of the main takeaways today, I guess, would be reviews do influence customer decision making. And in fairness, we're, look at our own consumer lives. We do read reviews on Amazon and we do read reviews on booking.com. And, whenever we need to make a purchasing decision or a hiring decision, we do look at reviews. And, the reality is there's no difference with estate agents. And there's a really interesting stat there that, over 90% of consumers, use reviews to influence their decision. And bear in mind, it's not just negative reviews that would influence their decision. It's also having, really good positive reviews would influence their decision in using you. So, it does play a part in our lives. So it's something that we do need to factor in when we're running a business. So what we do is we can help agents effectively on our platform collect reviews from multiple review platforms. Now, bear in mind that you would be on quite a few review platforms, and some by choice and some not by choice, because some of these platforms will add you on as a business. So our goal here is to look at it holistically. So we're not saying one review over the other. Obviously, Google reviews is the main one, and we would advise everyone to be on that platform, because it does a really strong SEO factor. But yes, Google would be the number one platform. Then there's some alternatives that are free, which are also good. I personally like Yelp. It's free and it has a very strong.
Well, you mentioned something quite interesting yesterday when we were going over this, that in terms of organic results, some of these platforms can be a lot more helpful than others, can't they?
Absolutely. So yeah, I think there's a couple of slides in there, but yes, I did, first thing I would do is just Google, estate agents in and your particular area and just see what comes up. And you'd be surprised how some of these review platforms that you wouldn't think are really estate agent focused do appear first on Google, quite high up on Google. So just factor that in. But I think a takeaway would be just Google estate agents in or letting agents in, your area, your suburb, your postcode, and just see what comes up. I think that's just a simple thing you can do. I mentioned Google, extremely powerful, but I do want to highlight there is a downside. A lot of agents are aware of this, but I just wanted to highlight this, that even if you have got a Google account and you're not pre-logged into Google and you go to try and leave a review, this happened to me. So I took some screenshots of my phone. You have to go through this process. They even send you an email confirmation. So sometimes it's not as straightforward as people make out. And that's if you've got a Google account. If you don't have a Google account, then it's obviously a few more steps involved as well.
And it's important that the number of steps that people have to go through, because what we know about e-commerce these days and the very little patience people have is that you need to take away the barriers, don't you, in order to get them to where they want to be. So if you've asked them for a review and they say, yeah, sure, mate, I'll give you a review, you need to make that as painless as possible for them.
Absolutely. And like I said, Google is the most popular and extremely powerful, but this is unfortunately a downside if you're not pre-logged in. So absolutely right. We're a strong advocate on sending review invitations by text message. And if you're not doing it at the moment, I would strongly advise text, WhatsApp. It is a powerful tool. The stats prove that. You can see there that SMS has an extremely high open rate, where email has, quite a low open rate. So just look at that 19% email open rate. What that basically means is every 5 email invitations you send out to clients to leave a review, 1 will get opened according to that. And then from that 1 person, then there's a percentage that have to actually leave a review anyway. So the numbers get quite small. But obviously with text message, it's different, because if you're opening up that text on your phone, the inclination to, what the hell, I'll leave these guys feedback, they did a great job, they're more inclined to do it because it's already open rather than just ignore an email. So just factor that in as well. We have a feature in our dashboard where you can actually just type in the client's number and click send. You don't actually have to type anything out. Everything's already preset in there. So we try and make life even easier for the agent to send an invitation through our platform.
Excellent.
So here's a couple of, best practices. I always get asked, when should I ask somebody to leave a review? So this is based on a lot of feedback from agents that I've been speaking to, and I've sort of factored all that in. And it seems to be the most popular with agents at the moment, who are getting the most success, is 14 days after instruction. That also includes a new landlord, but obviously a vendor. And then and sending another invitation out on or before exchange, or on or before tenancy agreement signed.
So that's actually really interesting, because I think that if, as an agent, and I know we all do now, have more responsibilities in terms of the information that we have to gather when we take on a new client, if you use the onboarding experience as a way to really thoroughly kind of welcome your client to the business, and make them feel like you're offering them a professional service and it's smooth and everything flows, it's a great time that just after that process, so 14 days after the instruction, whilst everybody's new and shiny and nobody's had a chance to make a mistake yet, I think it's a great time to sort of say, what was your experience of our onboarding? Would you give us a review? And I think at that point, you should always get positive responses.
Yeah. So another thing, just touching on that, the feedback I also have got from agents who are quite successful is to actually also ask them to leave you feedback. So you might be on a call with a client saying, we're going to exchange tomorrow or the day after. By the way, would you mind leaving us some feedback if I send you a text or an email about how we've performed? So you're going to have a conversation with your clients anyway. At the back of that conversation, it doesn't hurt to ask them that you're going to send them an invitation. That tends to be more successful than just sending out the invite on its own. And one of the best practices of not to do is to send the invitation when the transaction's fully completed. So after completion, people are so busy moving home. It's a bit of a crazy time in your life, packing boxes, moving house. When you get that invite, can you leave us a review? It tends to get lost in an inbox, because they just, might have to take a few days off work because they're moving house. So try and stay away from after they've transacted and they've moved on from using the estate agency services. So that's one of the not to do's. We have another option that we help agents collect reviews, and that's through a Net Promoter Score. So the way we operate with our Net Promoter Score is the client gets greeted with a completely different landing page, and you can see there's a score from 0 to 10. And the question is, how likely are you to recommend this agency to friends, family, or colleagues?
It's a really simple proposition, and it's a really simple question, and it couldn't be easier for them to give you a rating at that level. It's not complicated at all, is it?
No, absolutely not. So if they score you from 0 to 7, they'll be directed to a feedback form. And then if they score you from, that will get emailed to you. And then if they score you from 8, 9, or 10, they'll be directed to an alternative screen where they'll be asked to leave you a review. So we have two options to invite. You can have the standard option, which goes directly to the review platform, or you can have the Net Promoter Score option first. So we offer both those options for agents. So what we said earlier, what Dave mentioned earlier is which review platforms to use. And you can see there, I Googled estate agents in Manchester, and you can see there's some sponsored ads that come up first, but the first organic ad is actually Yelp. And the second organic one is Yell. Not traditional estate agent review platforms, but just bear in mind, they're both free to use, but they tend to come up where this map is below, is where the Google options come up first, next. So just factor that in, that they do spend a lot on SEO, hence why they are up there first. Do you want to add anything to that, David, or?
No, I just think that a lot of agents always struggle to know how much to invest in things like SEO, because as you know, on pay-per-click models, you could put a lot into that, and it's almost like throwing a snowball into the volcano, because compared to some of the bigger outfits and the bigger commercial enterprises, their spend power is a lot higher. So I think if people like Yelp or Yale are investing in getting results up there, and it's a free resource to people to use, spread the love. Don't just leave all your reviews in one pot. Don't just put them in Google. Maybe spread them around a little bit, and obviously you've got the options to do that.
Definitely. So the next stage, what we do is, once you've collected your reviews, is obviously replying to reviews. And this is a really interesting stat out there. And the question is, how likely are consumers to use a business based on how it responds to online reviews? You can see at the bottom of the first column, it responds to positive and negative reviews. So they're a lot more likely to use a business if it responds to all the reviews, be it a positive or negative review. The opposite end of that spectrum is the last column, does not respond to reviews at all. So that even includes positive reviews. So you might have a whole bunch of positive reviews and not respond to them. It doesn't look favorably upon you in the consumer's eyes. So, an example I can put there. So if you've got two very similar agents who've got very similar reviews, and they're all really positive, and the client's trying to decide which one should we use, and then they go look at some reviews, and one has a lot of really lovely replies and really cares for their customers and really highlights that in the replies, and one has nothing, it just ignores it. You can see how that looks slightly different for the one who's replied in a more positive way than the one that hasn't.
It's such a great opportunity, isn't it, to get a right tone of voice across to the prospective customer, because the way that you respond to reviews, both positive and negative, gives you it's a little window, isn't it, into how perhaps the personality of the agency. So were they professional? Were they aggressive? Were they magnanimous? Were they very grateful? And I think that really helps, because sometimes, two great agents, as you've said, in the area, can have a similar sort of number of customers, and also similar number of services and reviews. But what differentiates them is the image that they project, isn't it, really, to that prospective customer?
Yeah. And replying to them does give you an opportunity to communicate to future customers. Even from a negative review, if you ignore a negative review, that doesn't look favorable. But if you reply to a negative review and saying, hey, this is what we've done, we've acted, you portray that you've acted in an extremely professional way, which most agents have. Sometimes it's just shooting the messenger with a negative review. So you have responded, you have explain the situation. Someone will read that and think, okay, well, that agent's done the best thing possible, in that situation. It doesn't look as negative as it does if you just don't reply to it effectively. Yeah. So we've got a tool that helps with that. It's extremely popular on our platform. you can just see there how it works. So we scan the text within each of the reviews. We put it through an AI platform, and then we give out a suggested AI reply. If you read that reply, you can see how professional that is. The thing about our AI replies, that's a mouthful, our AI replies is that they're different every time, so they're not the same. And it does take out keywords. And even if it mentions people in the review, the reply will also mention those people, or their staff members in the reply. It mixes it up, because sometimes I get agents that tell me, I've got these positive reviews. It feels like I'm just saying the same thing every time I reply. Using this tool, it does mix it up, so you're not saying the same thing. And on the opposite end of that, they get a negative review and think, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And this helps guide you. You don't have to copy it word for word, but it just, you might take
Because
some key parts out.
that's the key, isn't it? We all know what to say when we've had a positive review, because effectively you just want to say thank you and it was a pleasure for having your business. When you get a bad review, a negative review, how you answer it makes all the difference in terms of how that negative review impacts on your business. So if you answer it in a professional, friendly and magnanimous way, I think actually sometimes it can completely negate a negative review.
Absolutely.
Turns it around.
Absolutely. So I think one of the takeaways from this is, even I get asked, I've got reviews that are 2 years old, go back and still reply to them. Just reply to all the reviews, because you don't know how far back someone's going to go back and read those reviews. It's better to have a reply that's current from an old review than not reply to it at all. So we just try and make it easy for the agent just to copy a suggested reply and then reply straight from our platform. We have quite a comprehensive dashboard when it comes to managing your reviews. We work as a review aggregator, as you can see there. So really simple. It's not a time-consuming dashboard. You can just take a glimpse, spend a couple of minutes, think, okay, hang on a sec. We got some not great Facebook reviews here. Let's try and push some more Facebook reviews through our platform. But it just gives you a glimpse of how well you're performing. I can do a presentation on this dashboard, but just in simple terms, there's a lot of data in there. We can tell you, how well you're performing with Google reviews compared to your competitors' Google reviews.
Yeah. So that, I think it's worth pointing out that I think what makes View Agents really sort of stand apart in terms of being used as a reputation management platform is that it's built for estate agents, and therefore it's the only tool that we know of that provides that level of benchmarking, so that you can see how you do in relation to local competition.
So there's more features than what you can see on the screen, but it is quite a comprehensive dashboard. Then we get into promoting those reviews. So, the vast majority of agents who get a positive review do nothing. They just let that positive review sit on that review platform. And what we're saying, you should shout to the rooftops. You've got a positive review. You've got somebody who's had a really good experience with you. Why not use another mechanism to get that message out there to a lot more people in your local community? And obviously, one way of doing that is on social media. So what we do, one of the pain points for agent is actually generating the content, actually creating the social post to put on social media, just due to sometimes a lack of time, lack of resources, and so on. So to make life easier, we auto-generate the post for the agent. So it's a PNG file, so you can then just upload it to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X. So if you don't like that review, we have a refresh button, and it'll just generate another one and generate another one. So you can send them daily, you can send them weekly, you can send them monthly. It'll just keep generating. There might be a review that you think, I don't actually want to put that on because there might be a spelling error in there from the client. So I think I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to refresh and generate a new one. So we offer that service as well. Very similar is, I've had agents who copy and paste reviews and put it on a document and use it on the listing presentation, which is time consuming. We try and take that pain point away. It's good to show your reviews on a listing presentation because it's unbiased feedback. and a lot of clients like reading reviews that are unbiased. So we generate that report for the agent that's branded in a document, an A4 PDF. You can use it digitally, or you can print it off in your office. But that's a really handy tool. Another thing that gets overlooked is in the Google search, having your score rating displayed adds an element of weight to when people are searching for agents online. We offer that service, so we can display your Google search. In the Google search, we can offer the star rating of your reviews in there. That's another feature that we offer.
And that's great, isn't it? Because it just makes your line stand out. If you've got good reviews, this is what you want.
Why not tell people right off the bat?
Yeah.
We have a comprehensive awards program. It does give agents a competitive advantage regarding awards. I won't go into too much detail, but yes, we're about to do our 2025 awards shortly. What's a really positive thing is actually displaying your reviews on your website. It's dynamic content. It's regularly changing. Google, from an SEO perspective, likes content changing on your website. So the widget does do that. And we aggregate it from various platforms as well. So it's a real positive component to have on your website if you don't already have one already. And just to finally, a lot of times agents say, is it possible to be alerted of a review, instantly or relatively quickly? And we do offer that service as well. So because we aggregate the reviews, when a new review comes through, we do send the client or the agent an email saying, by the way, you've got a new 1-star review or a new 5-star review. This is who it's from. We also include the suggested reply in that email, and we also include the social media post in that email, together with a button that they select to reply to that review. So we try and I know agents are super busy, to make life really easy. We sort of try and do it via an email, even though you can access all that from View Agent's dashboard. We also, separate to that, we also send you an email. And that's basically it.
Fantastic. So lots and lots of sort of tips there that agencies and businesses can implement to try and sort of increase the number of reviews that they collect. So I think you can never have too many. And in some ways you can never have enough, but the more you get, the more it's such a resounding endorsement of your business and your services. And so I think that is the principal aim, but then it's what you do with those reviews once you've got them that I think really is where the hard work comes in. But it can change the game for agents looking to attract new customers. So anyone watching this, if you want a more thorough demo of the View Agent site, or you've got any questions whatsoever as regards reputation management or how to enhance your reviews, get in touch. There is nothing Dom doesn't know about that.
Okay.
So thanks for joining us.